So it's the application. Without looking at how many references are on an application, our application. 4. So here's the script that I want you to do. No, you don't even have to be the one to fill out the application, because for some reason I know some of us just don't fill out the application, and which is a terrible thing. Terrible thing to do is just to, here, fill this out. You know, that's somebody's getting ready to spend $30,000 for me. You know more about what's on that app, needs to be on that application than they do, especially when it comes to what's our biggest problem we have on our application, other than penmanship.
People lie.
I think we lie sometimes too, but they put their net income on there instead of their gross income, and that costs us deals all the time because they'll do this. But even if you're going to have them fill it out, before you take it to the desk, you've got to turn around and look at it, and there's 4 references on there. All you have to do is turn around and tell your customer, I don't care if they're an 800 credit score or a 400 credit score, and tell them, hey, most of our banks require 4 local references. That's it. 4 local references. And if you're filling out an application right now, do you think they kind of feel a little bit confident in you and they like you and they're probably trying to buy the car now? All right. So they're going along with everything you're asking them. So if you're not going to fill it out, when it's time to take the application to the desk, you just look at it. If it's not there, you say, guys, most of our banks require at least 4 local references. And who would those references be? And just ask for them and write them down. All you need is their name and their phone number. Nothing else. Name and a phone number. Fill that out. 4 references. And now you do what's called the Columbo. Who remembers how to do the Columbo? Everybody remember who Columbo is? Just the old people? So when you pick this application up and you're going to go turn it in, you stop and say, oh, by the way, James, do you mind if I give these people a call? Not to sell them a car, but just to introduce myself, so if they ever have any questions, they have somebody in the car business they can call. Would that be all right?
That'd be fine.
Simple. That's simple. And then, James, would it be okay if I tell them that you thought it was okay that I called them?
Yeah, all but Fred there. Don't tell him.
So don't tell Fred. Okay. All right. That's what you get right there. So now, what do you have to do, though, after all this?
Call him.
You got to call them. And you're going to call them when? Next day? If it's later? If it's in the morning, maybe later that evening? But you have to call them right away. And then now you're just going to call them and say, hey, this is Terry out at Dennis Eaton Kia. I was just recently working with James, and James listed you as a reference. He thought it'd be okay if I called you. Now, I'm not trying to call you to sell you a car. I just want to introduce myself, let you know what I do for a living, and let you know you have a friend in the car business. So if you don't mind, could I get your email address? And that's just so I can send out my contact information, so if you ever have any questions. What do you think is going to happen on those calls? Do you think they'll give you their email address if James referred them? That's pretty powerful when you got an introduction to somebody, right? The other thing that could happen on these phone calls is what? Hey, I'm looking for a car right now. There you go. A conversation starts. So, well, you know, now that you called, I was thinking about it. You know, hey, do you guys have any of these on the lot? Do you have any of those on the lot? You know, I was thinking about getting my daughter a new car. She's getting ready to graduate. A conversation can come up. At the very least, you get their email address, you have their phone number, and now you get to put them in dealer socket, and you have another person to follow up with every few months. Some of those conversations may be, well, you know, I'm getting ready to deploy. I'll be back in 2 months, and that's when I'm going to be interested in a car. Now you put that in there, and a week before they get back, you're sending them out an email, texting them, calling them, letting them know. Say, hey, I remember last time we talked, you said you were going to be interested when you got back. What are you going to be looking for? And I'll keep an eye out for you. But that's referrals. These are referrals. Now, this is a lot easier to swallow when you figure out what the results are. Just pass them down. Mario, you don't necessarily need to fill one of these out, but I'm going to ask you a question eventually. Just pass them all the way around. Everybody got one? So here's what I want you guys to do. I got some numbers, and I went online and I looked up all of this stuff. So the first thing I want you to do, this is guaranteed referrals, guys. This isn't just winging it. How many, this is your own numbers, how many applications per week do you fill out? In other words, customer says, I'll take it. They may not necessarily buy the car because of credit reasons or whatever, but they say, yeah, I'll take it, and you fill out a credit application. Just write down that number, how many applications you fill out per week. Now there's 4 references on each application. So that's what you're gonna, references per application. So if you filled out 2 applications per week, shame on you, but that would give you, and then you did 4 applications per. I want you to go to number 3 and multiply number 1 by number 2. That's how many referrals you get in a week. Anybody need a calculator? I'll help you if you need it. Everybody there? Number of referrals per week. That's your numbers. Everybody got it? Okay, so let's go to number 4. Multiply number 3 by 4. So how many referrals per week times 4 weeks in a month? That's how many referrals you're going to have each month. I don't even know what the number is yet. Mario, let her use your fingers and toes too. So that was number 4, referrals per month. Number 5, multiply number 4 by 12. That's how many referrals you're going to get in a year. You have a calculator on your phone there too.
No, I don't.
I don't even know. It's too early.
It's got to fill it out anyway. So what's the number? Somebody help Alicia. What do you got, Alicia? What's number 4?
96.
96 times 12.
1152.
1152.
Damn, you did that in your head?
Calculator, my friend.
112 times 12.
112 times 12.
1344.
1344. Anybody else need help? So that's your referrals per year. Okay, so multiply that number, you're all going to need a calculator here, by 16%. That's the average number of sales that you're going to get off these referrals. Now, they may not come that first month, and they may not be the ones that you contacted this month. They may sell later on in the year because you've already talked to them. So this is in a year, in a 12-month span. 16% of them did. Help Alicia out, somebody. So whatever number 5 is, multiply that by 16%.
Aaron, yours is 215.
Yeah.
He's got it. What's Alicia's?
I don't remember what her number was.
Hers was 1150. She got it? All right. So everybody else there? Everybody caught up? No copying, Marissa.
I'm not copying.
All right. Number 7, divide number 6 by 12. That's your additional sales per month. I thought you already did yours?
He was a math teacher, remember?
I thought he was an animal teacher.
He used all the math equations my teacher used to use.
Everybody got it? Say yes? Okay, what number are we at now? We're number 8. So multiply number 7, the additional sales per month, by your average income. So if you average 250, if you have to guess, it's going to be somewhere between 250 and 300 here. So you want to multiply number 7 by your average income. So if number 7 is 10 and your average income is 250, that number would be what? 2,500.
2,600.
Takes a finance manager to do that stuff. Everybody there? Alicia? You got it, Josh? So number 9, multiply number 8 by 12. That's how much income, additional income, that you're going to make per year. Everybody there? So this is where it gets interesting. So how much more money are you going to make a year by doing this?
$51,000.
$51,000 by doing this. Do you believe it's possible to do it?
Yeah.
So what keeps you from doing it?
Effort.
Effort. Alicia?
46.
$46,000 a year. Who can go anywhere to a job and say, hey, I want a $46,000 pay raise and get it?
Congress.
Yeah, Congress. James, smart ass. 42 grand.
25.
25,000.
43.
43. You didn't fill them out, did you?
I did.
Yeah, we
I
just
take
come up.
one app a week, if that, 2,300 a month, I mean a year.
2,300 a year. Okay, so that's a pretty substantial income for everybody, right? That's probably, some of us might be more than what we're making already. So if you add that to it, now let's do this. How many additional sales per month?
17.
17, okay. 17, I need somebody to add this for me. Alicia? How many per month? Additional sales per month?
Number 7.
15.
15.
15.
7.
7. Don't be embarrassed by that.
18.
18. Let's leave it there. Now, we're missing how many salespeople?
2.
Anthony,
3.
Sean, Scott,
Jamie.
Joe. That's 4 right there, right?
That's
Jamie,
72 that's
5.
72
Jeff.
cars.
That's
Jamie.
just, that's without anybody else, the other salespeople here. 72 cars additional per month. Damn. We'd be breaking records. Would you be all right with that, Sean?
Be all right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
72 more sales than we're doing right now. We're missing 4 salespeople's numbers here. Okay, so now let's ask the finance manager. How much more money would you guys make with 72 more cars?
I'll buy everybody lunch every week.
Every day.
Not every week.
72 more cars, so, and your average is
Has
what?
to go.
Let's just say it's 1,000 per. That's an additional $72,000 in the back end. Not including the money we make selling the car. So, sounds way too good to be true, right?
Then cut it in half.
Thank you very much, Marissa. So if we cut that in half, 36 more sales a month. And remember, we're not counting 4 other salespeople that should be here. But the thing is, if we don't ask for the referral, the tool is right there. If we don't ask for it and then follow up with it, it's just, it cuts into my Candy Crush time. You know, it cuts into my Facebooking and YouTubing time. But this is why you're filling it out with the customer. So again, one more time, whether you fill the application out or they fill the application out, when you get down to the references or you get ready to take it to the desk or finance, you're going to ask them, or you're going to tell them, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, most of our banks require at least 4 local references. Why do we want to say local, Aaron?
Because it doesn't do us good to sell somebody a car now.
Yeah, we don't need somebody. I mean, everybody military here, we don't want references from Florida. It's kind of hard to sell them a car, but 4 local references, right? And what would those local references be? If it sounds natural, they're just going to give you those local references. They're going to give them to you. All you have to do then is take a look at those references and say, hey, name and phone number. It's all you need. Is it, guys, do you mind if I give them a call? Now, if you leave it open like that, what are they going to tell you?
No.
Here, just give me a card, I'll send them to you. But if you say, do you mind if I give these people a call? Not to sell them a car, just to introduce myself, let them know they have a friend in the car business. Would that be okay? And they'll either say yes, no, or, well, not this one, but these 2 you can probably call, all right? And then the next question is it okay that I mentioned that you said it was okay to call them? Now you got a personal introduction, and that's real powerful then. And then you're gonna call them the next day, say I was recently working with Josh, and your name, he used your name as a reference, and he said it would be okay if I gave you a call. Now, I'm not calling to sell you a car, I just want to introduce myself, so if you ever need anything in the car business, whether I sell it or not, you have a friend in the car business, somebody you can call. Is that okay? Do you mind if I get your email address and I'll shoot you out all my contact information? And if they say, well, you know, I don't buy email, look, I promise, I'm not gonna blow your email up. You may hear from me 3-4 times a year, if that. And if it is, it's gonna be something important to you. Right? Get their email address and just follow up with them. And again, what happens in some of these phone calls, Aaron?
They start talking about conversation.
Conversation comes up about buying a car. How much is my car worth? You know, my daughter this. But that's how easy this is. So that girl's selling 18 cars a month. She's 7 months into the car business. She started out 6 cars a month. She's selling 18 cars a month. And she says 7 of them every single month are off the references that the references that we turned into referrals, right? That are on credit application. Who can do that? You know what's that phrase? You can lead a horse to water. Nobody's gonna make you do this. Nobody's gonna make you do this. But if you want to make an additional, how much?
$51,000.
$51,000, is it worth it? And then how many of us say, man, I don't have anybody else to call? I've already called everybody. And if we start getting, how many additional references a week do you get?
References a week, 28.
28 more phone calls a week? And that's that you're calling them this week, but you may be calling them next week, the week after that also, based upon your conversation. So you got more people to talk to. Instead of sitting around waiting for the opportunity to come in. And here's where our big problem is, if we don't sell a car the very first time we do this, we give up. The salespeople are a different species. We expect results just like that. But it doesn't. It has to be consistent and has to have good quality. Your calls have to have real good quality information when you're talking to them. And then just keep following up with them. And then it gets to be real nice when you don't take it up again, or you do it only when you want to because you're so busy with your referrals.
And to say to help with that, when I call people, maybe 1 out of 20 answer the phone, because no one answers the phone if they don't know who it is anymore. So I would recommend sending a text message to those 3 people you're gonna contact. Because
Before or after?
Probably after you've called, because I call and leave a message, but then I send a text, and half respond to the text, where only 1 out of 20 answer the phone call.
And your text could be something as simple as, hey, I was recently working with so-and-so, and they thought it'd be a good idea to give you a call. Please give me a call at your earliest convenience, something like that.
And they might not call you right back right then, but they'll save your number. I've had people contact me 6 months after I sent them a text.
So again, we cut it in half. We cut this number in half. We're down to 36 more sales a month. Take your number and cut it in half. Even though the 16% is an average, that's an average. So you can do better than that, or you can do a little bit less than that. But 16% is an average. That's a lot of car sales. That's a lot of money. That's 360. What is it? 400 at a very minimum. 400 more cars a year for this dealership. That's additional sales of what we're already doing. 400. That's 400 is more than most car dealerships sell total. Cool. Anybody have any questions? Can you do it, Josh? We just need to remind ourselves. Don't be afraid to ask for the referrals. You have to remind yourself to do it every single time. Cool. Not only that, we got our little $150 check that we
That's
hand
what I
our
was gonna
customers.
ask, have we given any of those out?
Oh yeah, yeah. I hand them out to people all the time.
Well, do the customers like them?
That's okay. All right. Anybody have anything else? You got anything, Sean? All right. Today.